Hi, this is Storm with Shell. And I wanted to, something that God's been putting in my mind and in my thoughts. And throughout history, I always ask myself, why is it that evil is the one that tries to win? And throughout history, right, we see something that from the beginning of time, let me just show you from the beginning of time. We see the story of Cain and Abel. And I always ask the people, what type of a God we serve? What type of God you serve? Because there's a thing that people don't realize, that Bible, within time of history, it was modified and it was changed. I'm going to explain that. Throughout history, you see the story of Cain and Abel. Okay. You see that Cain was jealous and envious of his brother, right? Then he goes and he killed his brother. And we see how, he had to leave the country, and God puts a seal in his head saying nobody can kill this man, even though he killed, protecting him. And as through history, you see how bad and evil Cain was. And everything that Cain did, he won. Okay. Have you ever thought that maybe the way we were taught that God is the God of judgment, right? We were taught that God was the God who fought and killed and assassinated everybody to get his way. But people not understanding that there are two types of gods. Okay? The honest and true God, it's an honest and decent God. He's a God that, the real God is a God of love, understanding. The real God, it's a God of knowledge. What are you talking about? We see that in history, we see how Cain, it was okay for him to do what he did. He goes and leaves the land, yada, 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 okay? He leaves the land, right? We see in Genesis 6, we see, and the angels of God and the daughters and sons got together. Okay, they got together with the angels, and again, descendants of Cain went and did these crazy things, evil, and again, throughout history, it gets rewarded. Right? Also, there's another story that I'm going to share. And I am going to share about Esau and Jacob. And why Esau and Jacob? Because throughout history, we were taught that what Jacob did was okay. We were taught that Jacob, right? He did fraud. He committed a sin. Well, he was envious. He was jealous. And what makes you so sure that in Genesis 25, the God that Rebecca thinks is the true and lovable and honest and justice God spoke to her and told her that the younger brother was going to service, the elder brother was going to service the younger brother, and the younger brother was going to be the master of the big one. Don't go there. Why is it that in Genesis 25, and I'm going to read it, okay? This is the story of Isaac's son and Abraham's son. This is the story of Isaac's son of Abraham. Abraham's father, Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Padan Aram, and sister of Laban the Aramean. Isaac prayed to Yahweh on behalf of his wife, for she was barren. Yahweh, we gotta know what this is, heard his prayer, and his wife Rebekah conceived. But the children inside of her struggled so much that she said, if this is the way of it, why go on living? So she went to consult Yahweh. Yahweh said to her, let us see what Yahweh or what God spoke to her, because we gotta be real. There are two nations in your womb. There are two nations in your womb. Your issue will be two rival peoples. One nation will have the mastery of the other, and the elder will serve the younger. Okay, God just told her, wow, one of your young kid is going to be the ruler and the power of all evil, all the world. Let's just say that. And when the time came from confinement, there were indeed twins in her womb. The first to be born was red hair. Was red altogether like a hairy cloak. So they named him Esau. Then his brother was born with his hand grasping Esau's heel. You know that babies in the womb, they get tangled, they do all crazy things, right? So they named him Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old at the time of their birth. When the boys grew up, Esau became a skilled hunter, a man of the open country, and Jacob, on the other hand, was a quiet man, staying at home among the tents. He didn't do nothing. Home for wild game. But Rebekah preferred Jacob. Okay. They don't really say what Jacob really looked like, unless if I read it further on. Okay. Now we see the birthing of Esau and Jacob. We got to remember, in the passage before, it says that Jacob, the young one, was going to be greater than Esau. right? And this is what I want to talk about. When the time came for, okay, I read that already. When the boys grew up, Esau became a skilled hunter, a man of the open country. Jacob, on the other hand, was a quiet man, staying at home among the tents. Isaac preferred Esau, for he had a taste for wild game, but Rebekah preferred Jacob. Wow, she preferred Jacob. Why? From the beginning of time, she favored Jacob first. Why? If you got twin children, you're not going to love them equally and be there for them equally and don't choose one over the other. And that was the first mistake that Rebekah made. She showed more love for one man, one person. And Esau, she didn't care much about him. So I don't know if you noticed at the beginning, she was already building conflict among the two brothers. She loved Jacob. She had this obsession with Jacob. And Esau, again, the good guy, a hardworking man, a skilled hunter, a man of an open country, worked hard, did what he had to do. And Jacob, he was quiet, he was planning, conniving, but he was for the tents. He was at home all the time. A taste for a wild game, you know, he was always an eater. In that time, the word game, wild game, is some sort of a cooker. He was more like, you know, he liked to stay home and cook and don't be responsible, don't do nothing, just chill, still in his house and relax. And that's the one that Rebekah again favored. Esau gives up his birthright. And this is the important part that I want to talk about, right? We see that one day is in verse 29 to 34, we see how Esau, a hard-working man, it says in the beginning that he was a skilled hunter. He was a man who went outside and worked, and in an open country, he worked outside. He was a humble man. He was a humble man. A hunter man. He was always working outside, and he was doing his thing, but something happened to him. And this is where I'm going to come out, and you're going to be like, but why are you talking about this and the way you're talking about it? I'm going to tell you why I'm talking about it and why I'm saying the way I'm saying it. Once when Jacob was cooking a stew, Esau returned from the countryside exhausted. He was tired. He was weary. And we see what he did. Why would God, the real God, let you become a thief or a deceiver? And at the end, you win. Evil won. And whether people see it or not, we talk, you know, lately, we've been looking at history. We haven't really looked at the context. When you read the passages, it tells you exactly, either the Hebrew or terminology, Jacob was a deceiver. He was a crook. He was a thief. His mother was in on the scheme, right? His mother was a part of tricking his brother, her own son. Once Jacob was cooking a stew, Jacob came in hungry. Esau was starving. Esau was starving. Right? And Jacob knew Esau's weakness. Let me tell you, Let me tell you, this is how Jacob started manufacturing, being the quiet man in his mind, manufacturing, planifying how to destroy Jacob. Sorry, how to destroy Esau. And the Bible says, Esau said to Jacob, give me a mouthful of that red stuff there. I am exhausted, hence the name given to him, Edom. That was his real name, Edom. Jacob said, first, give me your birthright in exchange. Esau said, here I am at the death's door. What use is a birthright to me? Let me tell you something. The deceiver Jacob was looking for ways, even though he was quiet, he was looking for ways to deceive his brother. I'm going to take his birthright. His name means fraud, deceiver, cheater. How the God of justice, the God of love, is going to allow a man like Jacob, deceitful, deceived, many. It's like evil in this scenario. One, his evilness played a big role in taking Esau's birthright, his right as a firstborn, his right of living a better life. We see that, look what he planned. Jacob said, first give me your birthright in exchange. Esau said, here I am at death's door. Jacob did not care, first of all, that was his brother. All Jacob thought was like, I want the birthright. Let me become greedy. When my father dies, I'm going to make him obey me, because there was a rule that you have to obey and become the slave of the other. Blah, blah, blah. Again, slavery happened in this point of time. And we see again that he tells Jacob. Jacob tells him, hey, you got to give me your birthright. No food. I don't care if you're going to die. No food. Let's do this. Esau said, here I am at death's door. Will you use a birthright to me? Then Jacob said, first give me your oath. He gave him his oath and sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave him some bread and lentil stew. He ate, drank, got, and went away. Then that was Esau. That was all Esau cared about, his birthright. Again, Jacob all along was manifesting how to do evil. Jacob, even though he was the quiet man, the quiet young boy, he was looking for a way to deceive his brother. Right? Looking for a way to deceive his brother. And I want to share something. And the only thing is that because of a plate, why couldn't he give his brother, you my brother, you my blood, let me give you this, I know you're hungry, I know you worked hard. No, he was already being a deceiver. Evil was already taking the mind of Jacob. He was taking the mind of controlling. Oh my God, I need my brother's birthright. I'm going to take this. I'm going to hunt this. It's going to be mine. I'm going to deceive him. He's going to come hungry. He's always like expecting my mom to do this. Boom. The quiet one deceived Esau. And Esau was like, what is going to do a birthright if I'm going to die? And then he just made an oath. Here, I give you the birthright. I give you your birthright. I don't care. Just give me that. Again, this is the beginning of Jacob deceiving and doing fraud. Okay? And you see that Jacob knew the evil in him could win. And this is what's happening today. And I want to talk about it. This is what's happening today. Okay, this is what's happening today in reality, in this world, and this society that we live in. And this is where I'm going to say, this is where we're living at. Excuse me if I yawn, but I have the fan on. It's a little hot in here, even though it's cold outside. We see how he started with the plan to destroy his brother, right? Why is it that in history, Jacob, the deceiver, is the man chosen by God? Because we have learned and we've been taught that it was okay for him to do that because God ordered him to do that. So we see, Esau was the good guy, and Jacob was the deceiver. And throughout history, we've been talking about how wonderful Jacob created the tribes and did this and then did that. But in history, we have been taught in the Bible that evil, it's better than good. And that everybody who has done evil, God has rewarded them. Oh, that sounds hard, doesn't it? And this is the way the world's living today. Today, America, it's the same way. And I'm going to share my vision, a little piece of it, right? And in my vision, October 19, I saw that I was in a mall and there was a great multitude of people, right? A big multitude of people. And there was a big bowl of mush, like ground beef, meat, a whole bunch of vegetables, a little combination of everything. And it was right in the center of the mall, and it was like half so big. Everybody in that mall could keep eating and eating constantly and come back and eat. What happens? They start eating from that contaminated situation, right? They start eating and they're getting contaminated, and everybody's just munching and munching and munching and munching and eating and eating and eating. All of a sudden, in my vision, I told the man, take me there. What is going on? Why can't I stop them from not eating? And they kept eating. All this food is good. It's free. Excuse my cough. Excuse my cough. Sorry. Let me go eat this food. It's contaminated. They didn't care. It was contaminated. It was good. It was free. Let me keep eating it. 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 One of the girls, she couldn't take it no more. She ran to the bathroom, and she was throwing up. I'm gonna die. She kept saying. So in my vision, I told the Supreme Being, take me there. Let me run after her. And I started just praying over her life. And I just started praying over her life. She kept throwing up blood, and she kept throwing up everything that she ingested in contamination. What's going on? You got to remember, in this story, Esau, he gave his birthright because he needed to eat. All these people in my vision ate from the media, from the TV, telling them, we're going to give you freebies, we're going to give you that for free, we're going to give you this for free. Eat it, and eat it. Esau realized what he did at the beginning? No. At the beginning, in my vision, the girl did not know what she was eating. But eventually it came out messed up and she realized that what she ate was contaminated. Sorry. God showed me in the vision, right, that the media was manipulating and controlling America into opening something that you call the third eye, okay, the third eye and the pineal, opening them to realizing that you're gonna get a freebie, you know, the other thing in charge is no good. The other thing is no good. Therefore, let me shut off my fan. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna be doing that for a while. Okay. We realize that, right? We see that these people got contaminated through what they ate. Esau did not think about his consequence of eating that plate that Jacob gave him. Remember, Jacob didn't care that was his brother. Jacob didn't care that was his blood brother. All Jacob cared was getting his birthright, because Jacob had jealousy. He was a deceiver. He wanted his brother's stuff. And this is what's happening today in America. Why is it that throughout history, evil have always won? Why? Why? And God was showing me that everything that I've learned in this particular piece, I was taught that it was okay for Jacob to be the biggest deceiver to get his blessing. And a lot of Christians and believers say, oh, you got to go and steal your blessing. You better go and get your blessing and steal it like Jacob did. If we come to realize that what Jacob did was not right, we wouldn't have been telling people to do that, would we? Okay, that's the first incident. This is the first incident of Jacob and Esau. We're going to go now to chapter 27 of Genesis. And you see here that my title says, Jacob obtains Isaac's blessing by fraud. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to compare it now to what we're going through right now, and I'm going to compare it to, our president and the president-elect. Okay. After Isaac and Jacob grew up, says the Bible that he married. Esau got married at the age of 40, and he met Judy and the daughter of Barry. So, okay, we see here now that's an event that's going to take place right now. But in Genesis 27, we see how the mother gets involved. And we already see that Jacob's mother was already planifying, because supposedly God told her that the younger one was going to be greater, and then the older one was going to have the big little one, and that was going to be his master. We see already how in history Jacob from the beginning was a deceiver. Okay, we see in chapter 27, listen to this. how it was time for Isaac, the father, to give the blessing to Jacob, to Esau, and something happened. We saw that Isaac was already sick. He was old. He was so old. And Isaac spoke to Esau and said, Esau, I'm going to get ready to die soon. I need to give you my blessing. I need to put, you're going to take over my generation. Okay? And he told Esau, go and make me the best game. Go out there and hunt. Do what you best do, my son. Bring me the food. Cook it for me. Bring it to me and give it to me. It was some sort of, communication between Esau and him. Guess what? The mother listened to what Isaac had to say. So, she had to make sure her Jacob, the deceiver, the tricker, the one that fooled, he had to get that blessing. Oh, she didn't care about the other. So, she came and plotted how to defeat Esau, her own son, from getting the birthright. Esau represents Trump. Jacob represents Biden in this case. We see how Rebecca was planning. Oh, this is the moment. This is the moment that I got to make my son, the deceiver, to get over, to take control of everything. I need to make sure that what that person told me when I was pregnant, that my youngest is going to be empowered than the big one. And who knows? How did she know it was God talking to her? What God was talking to her? And today, why is it that in history, everybody is attacking that man? Everybody. It's going against that one man, against all evil forces, the whole world. And we see how Rebecca and Jacob went against Esau. He was humble. He was a workman. He earned getting that blessing. He earned it because through years, he really worked the land. While the other one was planifying and putting a trick in how to deceive his brother. And in this case, in this passage in history, evil won. What you talking about? Evil won. Evil won. So it says that Rebecca ran to Jacob and told Jacob, you got to put it up. We got to do this. We got to do this. Your father's already telling Esau, I'm getting ready to die. Let me give you the blessing. What happens? His mother says, go get the game. Go get what you're going to cook for your father. I'm going to cook it for you. No problem. Made it easy. Evil makes a way easy for everybody to be like, oh my God, evil's the best thing. Let me do this. She made it easy. She became part of the evil. There was two people doing fraud in this event. They worked together in a conjunction, mother and son. Okay? Like I said in my dream. Triple. Okay? Triple. Remember my dream. Three. Okay? 2 here represents Jacob, Rebecca, and then you see Isaac. Okay? Even though the 2 people did evil, at the end, he still did something good for Esau, right? I want to talk about politics also. She goes and tells him, let's go do this. Go over there and get me the stuff. I cook it for you. We'll figure out how to deceive him. We're going to figure out how we're going to do what we're going to do. Okay? And today, in these elections, it was planified for a while to do this to the president-elect. Why is it that the whole world is against one man? And every single person, okay, Knievel went against courts, everything, against one man. And it's amazing how the world doesn't see why is it that the whole world, the evil world, it's against one man. Okay. She tells Jacob, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. We got to do this before Esau comes. We got to make sure Esau doesn't make it here. We got to make sure we do this. You get the blessing, and he's going to be over there trying to get the best for his father. Always good. Trying to do the best for his father, doing the best for the creator, for the real God, not the God that portrays that it's okay that you become evil, and I will reward you for evil thing you do. Because according to how I'm understanding this now, I didn't understand it like that before. I am understanding now that evil was going to bless evil. But listen to this. She prepares the meal. They take the lamb or whatever they cook. They take the hair and they start sticking it. Let me tell you the perfect plan. They take the hair. And Esau had a lot of hair. He was very hairy. And Jacob didn't have that much hair because they were fraternal twins. Okay, you remember my dream? They were triplets. And I'm going to explain the triplets and the twin. And then the middle one, which Isaac, will represent the executive and judicial and legislator. Okay? We're going to see how this turns out. And people say, why are you using the Bible and you're using this? Because you know what? Again, it's repeating itself again. Evil is going to try to win the good. Okay, but this is what happens. His mother gets him ready. Oh my God, let me get you ready. There's always got to be a top person. And we know that in this scenario, there's some women on top and men who's trying to Knievel against what's going on in this world today. She goes and she starts putting her sons. She starts putting all the hair that she cooked from the animal on her son. And she goes, let me tell you, there's another step. She goes and she steals her son's clothes, Esau, to put it on Jacob. Two deceivers, evil, because it was evil. And I people, oh no, but God allowed it. God didn't allow nothing. The God of justice, the good and loving God, does not do that. In life, we sow what we reap. What we sow, what we reap means we sow what we pay for, what we did. Okay? Maybe not in that generation, but in another generation, you will sow what you reap. Okay? Now he goes to the father. And he pretends he's Esau. Jacob, because he was blind, and a lot of people today are blind, they get deceived by everything they say. In this case, Isaac was blind. He was of old age. He was like this. He couldn't see. Okay, he was like listening, and again, the words The words are deceiving the people. The words is deceiving. Okay. He says, yes, I am. I am Esau with the Jacob voice. I am Esau. I am Esau. He knew that they both had different voices, but again, he let the confusion and deceive. He got deceived by that voice. He knew it was Jacob. But guess what? He started touching him because he knew that one of those twins had a lot of hair. So that's what's happening today. We're listening to all the evilness. Okay? And even though we all know in reality that it's evil, we're still condoning to the evil. In this case, Jacob was blind. He had a physical blindness, and he was old, and and today, we are still blind. Jacob was blind. Oh my God, he sounds like Jacob. Oh, but he feels like my Esau. And this is the biggest lie ever. They have us today so confused. Because we are so blinded. We're carrying a blindfold. We are literally carrying a blindfold. Look at this. I'm going to show it to you. We're literally carrying a blindfold, right? And we're hearing all the people saying the truth. Oh my God, there's fraud. There's fraud. No, is this real? Jacob knew that he can deceive his father. Jacob knew that his father was in the end moment of his life. Jacob knew that how not to disguise himself as the good person. Go and disguise himself as he was Esau, the good man, the chosen man. Because Rebekah went and listened to the voice of Satan. Go and deceive your son, your good son. And we see that Jacob was blind. Oh, he feels like my son. Today, we as people of God, oh my God, they're feeding us good. Remember his birthright, he wanted some food, freebie, oh, I wanted this free, but everything in life is not free. He gave up his birthright. So now, today, we as people are giving our birthright. Capitalism for socialism. And what happened? His father I'm going to read it. Rebekah was listening while Isaac was talking to his son Esau. So when Esau went into the country to hunt game for his father, Rebekah said to her son, Father Isaac, the real God. Let's do it symbolically. Represents executive. So son, listen to me and do as I tell you. Go to the flock and bring me back the good kids so that I can make the kind of special dish your father likes. Then take to your father for him to eat so that he may bless you before he dies. Jacob said to his mother, Rebekah, look, my brother Esau is hairy, while I am smooth-skinned. If my father happens to touch me, he will see I am cheating him. Can't believe people still don't know that they cheated. I mean, even Jacob was like, let me look for a, his mother was like, no, I got you. I'm going to cover you, this is going to be unknown. They're not going to know. They're never going to find out. You know, your father's going to do this before he finds out that you got cheated. So today, they're trying to close all the doors on the president. You know, because they made the whole world be against him. Evil. And we're over here eating and munching thinking it's good. And keep reading. And I shall bring a curse down on myself instead of a blessing. But his mother replied, oh, me be the curse, my son. Just listen to me. Go and fetch me the kids. So he went to fetch them and brought them to his mother. And she made the kind of special dish his father liked. And I'm going to read it. Rebekah took her elder son Esau's best clothes, which she had at home, and dressed her younger son Jacob in them, covering his arms and the smooth part of his neck with the skins of the kids, of the animals, of the sheep. She then handed the special dish and the bread she had made to her son Jacob. Everybody's eating that food. She has feed everyone, meaning her, the media, okay, has feeded everyone. Okay. Prepare the dish. Went and took his clothes. Went and said, yo, my son. He said, oh, I'm going to be cursed if they find out it's me. And she go, no, my son, I'll take the weight. It's me. You know, she was blaming herself for something that they both planned. Like, it's so simple. She planned it. They planned it. Now they're going to blame it on anybody else. But instead of realizing that they're both responsible. If Russia took the election, if anybody took the election, they're all responsible because they all went, and form a group to destroy evil versus good. Okay? We're going to see. But his mother replied, I read that already. So he went to fetch them and brought them to his mother, and she made the kind of special dish his father liked, her husband liked. Rebekah took her elder son Esau's best clothes, which she had at home, and dressed her younger son Jacob in them, covering his arms and the smooth part of his neck with the skins of the kids. She then handed the special dish and the bread she had made to her son Jacob. We see the biggest fraud in history in this Bible. We see how evil the mother, because she heard somebody told her, go and destroy your brother. And this was happening in America now. Evil versus good. Everybody is against one man, which the media made him think he was orange top, he was racist, he was this and he was that. Just like Esau. Esau was redhead. Racist. Oh my God. And this is what we see. And this is what it says. He went to see his father and said, Father, yes. He replied, which of my sons are you? Look at this. He had a chance to stop being evil. But it was greater his envy, his lust, his passion to beating his brother and tricking him, to taking in a barking area. Everything is mine. I did evil, I deceived. Now I get the right to control and manipulate the world. He went to his father and said, Father, yes. He replied, which of my sons are you? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Please sit up and eat then some of the game I have brought. I have brought. And then give me your soul's blessing. Give me everything. Everything. You gotta give me. It didn't belong to him. It belonged to Esau. It didn't belong to him. He was such a deceiver. So easy to say, oh. And the funny thing is that we use this passage, oh, God wanted evil to happen so the tribes and the nations form. Negative. That's not true. Why would God gonna use you to hurt and deceive someone and fraud and destroy somebody else? That's not the God in this passage. Isaac said to his son, "Son, how did you succeed so quickly? Look how the devil, look how evil works. How you got this done so fast? How you got this done so fast? How? You know, I just saw you and all of a sudden, it hasn't even been an hour and you're already here with my dish. Too quickly, he knew that Esau, when Esau did something good, he did it from his heart. He took and he did the best of it. He went out there and tried to do the best and try to get the best food, try to get the crops clean. He was always there as a son and his family. He was there for the wealth of America. I'm saying America. He's there for but Jacob, Esau was always there in doing good. And we see how Jacob and Rebekah manipulated the situation. She thought God spoke to her because the God that I know today is not going to go tell you, go and destroy somebody's life, because it belongs to you and only you, and it's your power, and it's your power, and you're the one who's going to build the nation, and you're going to make everybody slaves. Yeah, you're going to be the master. You're going to be the head of the master of everybody. Everybody's going to be under you. You are going to rule the world. You are going to govern Jacob. And that's what the enemy did with Jacob. And then later on, I'm going to go into the New Testament, like Paul, and the light that he saw, that he was deceived, and he was the biggest killer in the world. Paul was the biggest persecutor, the biggest assassin in the world. And what? Let me guess. God forget. Oh, he saw light. What makes you sure he saw the light of God, and he didn't see the guide of evil? Because he was always going to be a Pharisee, and Paul was always going to kill, and he did a lot to the good people. He persecuted them. He went and he changed and he made his own religion. Oh, if you don't obey me, you can't circumcise. You can't do this. It was controlling. Oh, you got to obey your masters, people. Oh, people, women, you got to shut up and obey. Evil, again, telling to obey. The people, good people, controlling them. Throughout history, in the Bible, evil has won. And then we say it's God. God wants you to kill. God wants... Well, one of the things is that God didn't give us the power to kill anybody. So we see. And we see this today in America. Evil versus good. This man is by himself. The whole world hates him. The puppets, the big people who want to keep people as puppets are trying to destroy this area, America. How did you succeed so quickly? Let me tell you how evil always... They plan it, Let me tell you something. For years, she was trying to say, she was wondering, oh, how is my young son going to overpower the big one? We see how this quiet man, this quiet person, oh, he goes and takes the birthright of his brother, steals it, does a fraud. Yeah, doesn't this remind you of something? What's happening today? But the saddest part is here, the evil becomes the controller of the world in this passage. He replied, because Yahweh, your God, made things go well for me. Isaac said to Jacob, come closer, son, so that I can feel you and be sure whether you really are my son Esau or not. Look how Jacob deceived his father. How today? How is the world today being deceived with these elections? Having all the evidence in the world that there was fraud. How? Let me see you from close. This man, all these people. In this case, there was two people doing this world, but you're gonna see why this evil stuff expanded. And all my life, I thought that Jacob was the good guy. All my life, I thought Jacob was the man. Oh, God allowed him to do that. In history, God has put people to kill. That's not true. And I have another dream that I had in aspect to that. Come closer, son, so that I can feel you and be sure whether you really are my son Esau or not. Okay, he was still battling. And there's a lot of people out there in this world that they know that there was a situation with fraud. And they still are clinging to no, that's a lie. But in reality, it was like Isaac. In reality, he knew that it was not his son Isaac, Esau's voice. But because he was deceived by the skin, and we are deceived today, oh, we're going to get this, and we're going to get that, we're going to get this, and we get tricked. In this case, Isaac was blind. A lot of people are blind and they're not seeing, or they're seeing it, but they pretend not to see it. We don't want to believe that. Because you have been fed from the beginning for a plate. You've been for a birthright. You let go of your birthright a long time ago. You let go of who you were and you to seeing the light. But because to you, darkness, and I don't know if you noticed, but to get coupons today in this system, you need to lie. Because if you are a decent woman or a man that worked, and you worked and you don't make that much money, you cannot go to the welfare system and say, well, I make so much money. No, you make too much money, and you know that you can't even pay your rent, but they don't give you food stamps. But somebody goes, and lie and deceive and deceive. They go there into the system. Oh, my man is not in my home. I don't have this and I don't have that. And lying and deceiving, the government gives those people that lie, not the people that are honest. So we see again, evil better than good. Jacob went closer to his father, who felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the arms are the arms of Esau. Today, the believers, you want to call yourself believers, and everybody is listening to two voices. You're listening to the good media, you're listening to the bad media. And Esau, he knew because of the voice it was Jacob, but he wasn't sure because he showed him the skin. Again, appearances. You touching the appearances, the skin had hair, and you went and you got deceived by the skin. You knew that the voice was evil. You knew it wasn't him. But today, society is deceived by what you receive, by the skin. You touch, you feel. You need to touch and feel, or you need to get it. You need to feel the free thing. But in reality, that's how we are. And this is what's going on in these elections. Jacob went close to his father Isaac, who felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice in the arms of the Esau. He did not recognize him since his arms were hairy, like his brother Esau. And so he blessed him. He blessed evil. He blessed evil. He blessed evil. Oh my God. And that's what's happening today. We have taken evil side because we have been deceived like it has been the good side. He said, are you really my son Esau? He was still battling, and you know in reality, and you're still battling. Oh my God. Is Trump really the chosen one? Is Trump's really son of God? He's the devil. And he replied, I am. Again, he was deceived. Isaac said, serve it to me so that I can eat my son's game. My son's meal. Ate the contaminated one. He ate the evil one, the one that was not honest. But because he was blind, he was old age, today we acting like that. Give me my special blessing. He served it to him and he ate. He offered him wine and he drank. How many wines are you drinking? It made him a little tipsy, like, okay, I'm going to make my father more tipsy so he won't realize that my hair is going to come off and I'm going to be deceived and he's going to give it to me and I'm going to destroy the world. His father Isaac said to him, come closer and kiss me, son. That was a way of saying, I'm ready to bless you before I die. He gave him the Judas kiss, the deceitful kiss, the lying kiss, not the honest kiss. He went close and kissed his father, who sniffed the smell of his clothes again. She took the clothes. She put his son's clothes. She was the deceiver as well. And that's what's happening. There's a lot of people deceiving today. In one side, and some believers are accepting the fate of humanity. It doesn't have to be like that. You got to remember the Bible was created. And all these stories I'm talking to you is stories repeating itself. Then he blessed him, saying, the smell of my son is like the smell of a fertile field, which God has blessed. Meaning, fertile means pure. He was deceived and thinking, oh my God, he put on the clothes and he put on the smell and he put on the hair. And this is what's happening today. The people are being deceived by evil because it is transformed as the good son. It is transformed as the person, I'm going to do right, and the other one is evil. So he's transformed as the smell of my son. You know, they deceiving you with a smell. Oh, we're going to give you, man. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. Now remember Esau. His smell was like the fertile field, was pure. Pure, honest, loving, caring, not envious, not wanting to destroy. May God give you dew from heaven and the riches of the earth, abundance of grain and wine. This is how evil took a control of the world today. Because a person like Jacob deceived a man like Isaac. Let people serve you and nations bow low before you. Be masters of your brothers. Let your mother's other son bow low before you. Accursed be whoever curses you, and blessed be whoever blesses you. You see what we did? We just gave the inheritance of the good people to a deceiver. And now anybody who cursed the deceiver or try to go against the deceiver, the evil God, not God, would always protect the evil. Protect the evil. This is what's happening today, people. Wake up. It's happening today. With the elections, it's happening. Just exactly like Esau and Jacob. The mother represents the court, the judicial, everybody against Esau. We see that even though everything happens, we're going to see something. As soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, the deceiver, the fake one, the evil one, and just as Jacob was leaving his father Isaac, his brother Esau returned from hunting. He also made an appetizing dish and brought it to his father. Father, please eat some of your son's game. And then, he was deceived. And then give me your special blessing, his father said. Isaac asked, who are you? His father said, who are you? I am your firstborn Esau, he replied. At this, Isaac was seized with a violent trembling and said, who was it then that went hunting and brought me some game? He was trembling because guess what? Isaac was blind. How many of you are blind? How many of you are getting deceived? He realized, this honest and good man Isaac realized, evil one. He gave all his power to evil. Then hunting brought me some game. I finished eating it just before you came. I blessed him, and now blessed he will remain. He couldn't change that. He couldn't change that. He couldn't do a reverse on it. But now we can do a reverse on it. Because if you see the truth, you'll be able to, in history, change the story. The Bible says that Satan was bonded for 1,000 years. And people were able to live in the land. Hello, people. On hearing his father's words, Esau cried out loud and bitter and said to him, Father, I must have been saying, oh my God, Father, I've been good all this time. Father, I've been obeying you. I've been obeying our true Father, our true God, the God of justice, the God that doesn't kill, the God that doesn't deceive, the God that doesn't punish. And bitterly and said to his father, Father, bless me too. But he replied, your brother came by fraud and took your blessing. Why are you letting the media lie to you and control you? Did fraud. Fraud is happening right now, people. Fraud. And you're too blind, like Jacob, Isaac, to see it. And took your blessing. Esau said, his name should be Jacob, right? Enough, for he has now supplanted me twice. Tricked him twice. How many times in history have we been tricked? One man against all evil forces. Against him, one man. First, he took my birthright. What was mine? I was born with that. I was chosen. And this is happening now. It's Trump's birthright to save and protect. Try to do something good. And evil is trying to destroy and manipulate and do whatever they want. And look, now he has gone and taken my blessings. But he added, have you not kept a blessing for me? And throughout history, evil has won good. And you know, they say, oh, yin and the yang go together. Not really. Isaac replied to Esau, I have already made him your master. God doesn't make anybody masters. Only Satan does that. The evil does that. The lefties do that. And Paul did the same thing in the New Testament. I gave him all his brothers as servants. What is it that the leftist wants to do? Make us servants of them. Not freedom, but servants. I've given him grain and wine to sustain him. So what can I do for you, son? Esau said to his father, can you bless only once, father? Father, bless me too. Isaac remained silent, and Esau began to weep out loud. Evil thought that they were going to prosper. And yes, they did take the main blessing. They took the whole world. Basically, his servants, symbolically, that stands like you're going to be ruler of everything. You're the deceiver. You're the evil one. You're going to rule everything. You're going to be in charge of everything. And the good guy got leftovers. Started crying because he didn't know what he did wrong in life. It was like evil won. Then his father Isaac spoke again and said, look what he says to him. Far from the richness of the earth and the dew of heaven above. And we're going to see, okay, how different he blesses the other one. He told Jacob, and the smell of my son is like smell of a fertile field, which Yahweh has blessed. And he says, may God give you dew from heaven. Okay? And he tells the other one, far from the riches of the earth, to the good people. Because Esau was good. And the dew of heaven above. He used that same quote. And then he said, and the dew. And then the other one says, dew from heaven. Your home will be. It's your home. It doesn't matter. You're not going to have riches. You're just going to have a home. There's nothing for you. Nothing. By your sword you will live. By what you work. Your minimum wage, what you earn, the little bit of money, that's how you're going to live and you're going to sustain your home. And your brother will you serve, meaning you're going to serve, you the good guy, you're going to serve the evil person, and you're going to bind yourself and you're going to become their slave and you're going to do what they want because unfortunately evil won and I had to bless them and I couldn't take the blessing. And anybody who curses the evil people, the people that are doing bad in this world, you pay a price. And this is what's happening today. You speak out. They beat you up. They try to kill you. You die. But when you win your freedom, you will shake his yoke off your neck. What is he telling you there? Hey, you can be free. You can remove that yoke. You understand that if the leftists want you to become slaves again, socialism. You have to respect what they say. They control you. It's the new Green Deal, the new era, the new everything. Hey, it's not freedom. It's going to subject you to taking off your rights. They're going to take off your amendment rights, your constitution rights, your parent rights, because if you don't vaccine, they're taking your parent right. They're going to take your child. We're under this socialism. This is the new deal. This is the new reset. This is the new thing. Here you go. So he say, but when you win your freedom, you will shake this yoke of your neck. Make America great again. Meaning the poor people can get jobs, better jobs. You don't have to live off the system. You don't have to live off the government. You don't have to live, oh, I need this so bad because my masters are giving it to me for free. Let me take it. Wow. Thank you, Father. Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. And Esau said to himself, the time to mourn for my father will soon be here. Then shall kill my brother Jacob. When the words of Esau, her elder son, were repeated to Rebekah, she sent for her younger son Jacob again. She protected him. In that time, they was in prison. They became hateful and they killed one another. And this is what they're doing right now to us. They're trying to, the good people, Esau, trying to put hate on us. Hatred that the president lost so we can build a war and create a civil war to kill our brothers. But if you look at later on, Esau does not kill his brother. He forgave him for all the wrong thing he does. And then we see later on how him and the tribes of Israel, were Jacob, and the tribes of Israel, something happens and they start fighting. But I don't know if you noticed through history, the sons of Jacob, they start sinning and doing evil and evil and evil and evil and evil. And throughout history, evil has conquered. So I'm saying we got to be careful what we read. So she goes and she protects her son and hides the one that did evil. And guess what? Isaac never knew his wife did it. Simple as that. And he got away with it. And this is the problem today. Evil has always taken a control of the world. And the good people should do this in a peaceful way. Can evil mess up this time again? Yes, they can. They could take a control of it and it'll be the end of what you call America. Because the new plan that they have is to destroy the world. Don't be blinded like Isaac. He couldn't recognize that Jacob was evil. And he gave his whole blessing. Why are you giving your whole egg in the basket to evil? Why are you being a participant of it? And throughout history again with the Apostle Paul, evil. He was a deceiver. He killed. He cheated. He persecuted. He said he was a Pharisee. In Romans 2:16, he changes his gospel. He makes the Gentiles hate the Jewish and the Jewish, and vice versa. And then he goes and he says, people got to obey masters. People got to obey their masters. Or you got to obey the people ahead of you. You can't eat the lie. If you eat this, you're going to go put to sentence. You're going to die. And again, evil won because Paul was evil. And I can't believe throughout history, I, taught this very well. I was a teacher in theology. I, You know, I spoke the way everybody spoke, and then in one of my dreams, I saw that the Bible was full of blood, and all I saw was the evil God. The evil God. And that's what I saw through history. And the Bible is going to repeat itself, but it's up to us to discover the truth. And I just wanted to leave it there. This is Dawn Michelle. Thank you so much. And I hope that I was able to explain the story and how God gave it to me. I tried to do a podcast, but it hasn't been approved. And I'm afraid it might not be approved. I talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.